Basketball is back, and the Celtics are 0-2, at least at the time of recording, but that does not matter. We have ourselves a very hobby-relevant video to discuss, and that is about Cooper Flagg, the number one overall pick in this past year's draft, with all the hype surrounding him. Not as much as Wemby, but still a lot of hype in respect. But what will sell for more? His jersey, the full jersey, or just the little debut patch that he wore on the jersey the first game of the season? So we're going to be going over an article that kind of discusses what could sell for more and how important it is for not only the memorabilia and the trading card hobby, but just to kind of gauge where the hobby as a whole currently is. Now, again, Cooper Flagg did not have as much excitement as Victor Wembanyama, whereas his stuff sold for thousands of dollars. Crazy numbers. So let's dive into the article. This is written by Will Stern just a couple days ago, or at least at the time recording a couple days ago. The sales of Cooper Flagg's rookie debut patch autograph and debut jersey will provide critical data points for the hobby. Couldn't agree more, and that's why we're making this video, because last year's basketball class really was lackluster. Not a lot of excitement, not a lot of buzz, not a lot of people buying boxes looking for the top rookies, not a lot of people buying cards of the top rookies. But with Cooper Flagg and 25-26 products, specifically tops, now on the market, I do think the hobby from a basketball standpoint will kind of get rejuvenized. So here we go. Cooper Flagg's NBA debut jersey will sell at Sotheby's in the coming months, and it offers collectors the first data point in what will be an extremely compelling real-life experiment regarding the relative value of cards and jerseys. Again, Wemby's class with Brandon Miller and Scoot Henderson, that stuff was super popular, super hyped up, and it garnished a lot of value. I mean, Prism basketball boxes were selling for, I don't think $2,000, but $1,600, $1,700, $1,800 for sure. Last year's Prism hobby boxes, I think, came out at $600, and now you could probably find them as close to $300. So a crazy drop there. The same jersey, one of at least two worn by Flagg during an October 22nd game against the San Antonio Spurs, was affixed with a patch that will be used to create the most buzzworthy card in the hobby. But which should be worth more? The full jersey worn by a player in a game, or a one-of-one trading card embedded with a patch taken from that jersey alongside an autograph? Great question. I don't know about quote should, but my bet is that the card will beat the jersey. Cards are just much more easier to kind of collect, obviously, to display. Jerseys, got to frame them, take up a lot of space. It's expensive to get them framed. You know, you add cards, pictures, logos, even, logo patches of the team. There's a lot that goes into it, whereas a card, throw it in a one touch, get it graded, boom, you're done. You can kind of put it on your desk, on your nightstand, wherever, in your case, boom, done. The introduction of the rookie debut patch autograph in Major League Baseball has been a resounding success, and its expansion to other sports is almost certainly going to be a smash hit. We already saw the mania that surrounded the Paul Skeens rookie debut patch auto, which sold for $1.11 million earlier this year. In the basketball card market, and the hype surrounding top draft pick Flagg is arguably more powerful than the forces behind that sale. Very interesting. I believe Flagg's rookie debut patch auto would fetch $1.5 million if it hit the auction block tomorrow. Wow. That's just a dart in the dark. $1.5 million. Who's a more, or I should say, who was a more compelling prospect? Paul Skeens or Cooper Flagg? Wow. Close, I would think. I don't know. I mean, tomorrow, yeah, because the full season hasn't gone on. If we finds out that Cooper Flagg sucks and he's a bust, whenever the card hits, product and gets pulled and it goes to auction, we may find out that, hey, maybe the kid's not that good, so it wouldn't sell for nearly that. But where we're still kind of speculating, hoping, and kind of pumping him up, Wow, 1.5. That's a big number, guys. That's a big, big number. The more interesting question to me, however, is not the hammer price of the card or the jersey, but their relative values. Regardless of whether my $1.5 million prediction of Flagg's rookie debut patch auto or my estimate that the jersey will probably end around $1 million are correct, I believe the card will outpace the jersey. The answer is obviously subjective. I mentioned earlier, preferences, displays, and all that between the card and the jersey. Game-worn diehards will cry from the rooftops that jerseys should always reign supreme, and they have their reasons. Some are more visceral. Perhaps it's a more significant piece of the moment and a more intimate piece of the game. True. And others come down to preference, such as displayability and aesthetics. Wow, I already talked about that. Card collectors will counter with arguments of their own. First, look at Cooper Flagg's NBA debut jersey and the patch. There is the simple preference for a large collector base of cards over jerseys. The one-of-one nature of the card. Remember, Flagg wore multiple jerseys in his debut. And other ideas surrounding the value add of a slab, which particularly with respect to PSA has become something akin to the lingua franca of the industry. I have no idea what that means. Hold on. A language that is adopted as a common language between speakers whose native language are different. Okay, interesting. What can't be overstated is the degree to which this will be the greatest possible test, a nearly apples-to-apple comparison between the two segments of the hobby. While the rookie debut patch auto has existed in MLB for 2 years, the league doesn't have nearly as robust of a program for its game-worn material as the NBA, which has a deal with Sotheby's. Skeen's debut jersey has never appeared at public auction to my knowledge, and even if it did, the market for baseball jerseys of modern players is far less mature than modern basketball jerseys. True. There are so many factors that will go into the results of both the jersey and the card, not least of which is the timing of the sales, which are likely to be separated by at least months. We can do our best to bring objectively into the equation using past comps, which, while imperfect measures, are surely instructive. Let's take Victor Wembanyama, the most recent mega-hyped top pick. His debut jersey, also one of at least 2 worn during the game, sold for $762,000 shortly after the game Sotheby's in 2023. It's worth noting that while that result remains impressive even in today's climate, the game-worn market has grown in the years. Still, we can compare that his top card result of $806,100 achieved earlier this year for a one of his best parallels. The card beat the jersey modestly in this case, but it's not nearly as solid of a comparison as the upcoming rookie debut patch auto, considering the popularity of the Topps one-of-one creation and its immediate connection to jerseys, or to the jersey. Babe Ruth does not have any one-of-one rookie cards, but whatever is considered his best card, perhaps the Baltimore News, which fetched $7.2 million in December 2023, pales in comparison to the $24.12 million paid for his called shot jersey. Now, I just made a video for Parallel members and up for them where I talk about the Baltimore News Babe Ruth that sold for $7.2 million back in December 2023, but it had a more recent sale not that long ago, a few days ago, last week, where it only sold for what was it? I wrote it down somewhere. Hold on. Where is it? 4.0, it's in the title of the video, $4.02 million less. So about 3 and change. Less. And in the thumbnail, it even says minus $4,609 every day because the owner of the card, when they bought it for $7.2 million, had it for not even 2 years. It was like 22 months, and they lost $4,000 every year. I don't know how the market of memorabilia, game-used jerseys, if you buy it one day, you sell it 2 years, it's going to go up or go down. But $24 million for the jersey where he pointed and called his shot, that's impressive. That is impressive. But that's also vintage, Hall of Fame, superstar, legacy set in stone. I mean, there's just so much there to kind of beef up the sale of the jersey to $24 million. Whereas, again, when the Cooper Flagg jersey does sell, it's going to be a rookie. He's not as hyped up as Victor Wembanyama. Could it still sell for hundreds of thousands? Sure. I just don't think it's going to reach 1 million. I don't think the card's going to reach 1 million just because of all those factors. Of course, you have to consider social economics and the climate of the current situation here in the country with tariffs and the current government shutdown. Like, there's a lot of factors. And by the time that those hit the market later in the springtime, summertime, whenever they hit the market, I do believe, hopefully, that all those, American issues are kind of settled, whether it's from the shutdown, tariffs, more money in people's pockets, whatever it may be, so that they do have more disposable income. But on the other hand, the people that are going to be bidding and buying this stuff, and they don't really care about a 5 or 10% tariff. They got millions, probably billions of dollars anyways. Kobe Bryant's first NBA jersey fetched $7 million earlier this year. Again, set in stone, superstar, Hall of Fame legend. His most expensive public card sale to date, featuring only Bryant and no other players, is $2.4 million for an exquisite collection patch autograph that sold earlier this month. Jordan's top solo card is less than $3 million, outpaced by his top jersey sale of $10.1 million. We're not really comparing apples to apples here, though. I mean, of course, this is an imperfect, science experiment, but a rookie to legends. Apples and oranges, if you ask me. The problem with these comparisons is they don't have the ability to account for the significance and transformative nature of the rookie debut patch auto, which is truly unlike anything the hobby's ever seen. Sure, patches and jerseys have found their way into trading cards for decades. In 2003, Donruss purchased one of 3 pinstripe Babe Ruth jerseys in existence for $264,210 and proceeded to cut it up and place it into cards. Imagine that, taking a $250,000 card. Gotta spend money to make money, but imagine being the first person to snip. Oh, I'd be so nervous. But even then, there were no comparable one-of-one to those cards as rookie debut patch autos. And as anyone in the hobby knows, for better or for worse, the one-of-one stamp, for all its stretched meaning, is just about the strongest value driver as a descriptor, with the exception maybe of PSA 10. Without passing a value judgment on the significance of jerseys versus cards, or arguments as to why they ought to reign supreme, the absurd velocity of the basketball card market, compared with the fanfare surrounding the biggest innovation in trading cards in my lifetime, leads me to believe that the card will defeat the jersey in the battle between cardboard and fabric. I think for Cooper Flagg, being a rookie, I absolutely agree. I think the card will beat the jersey. Look at Victor Wembanyama's, for instance. However, long term, if Cooper Flagg does become somebody extraordinary, legend, superstar, 10 all-star appearances, maybe a couple championships, couple MVPs, I do think we'll see that rookie jersey pop back up, or one of the 2 rookie jerseys pop back up and sell for more than the card. However, you'd also have to think that whatever the card sells for, someone else will just sell it down the road and also make more money as well. I don't think we're going to get a true definitive answer for another 10, 15, 20 years whenever he's done playing. So I'll be really curious to kind of see what the initial sales are between the one-of-one rookie debut patch auto and the rookie jersey that he wore on opening night. But that will wrap it up for this video, ladies and gentlemen. I really hope you had fun with this discussion video. Hopefully you learned a thing or two, and let me know what you think down below in the comments. Do you think the card will sell for more? Do you think the jersey will sell for more? Let me know. I definitely want to hear your thoughts. But please like the video. Again, comment, subscribe to the channel if you're new or haven't considered subscribing. Check out the channel membership program. I would definitely appreciate the love and support. That will do it for this video, guys. I've queued up an excellent video that's going to cover my face right here. Hopefully, I'll see you in that one. Bye.